beautiful people. Welcome back. If you're new, welcome, welcome. So, we are going to do a recap and a review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 15, titled Give Blaque to the Community, BLAQUE to the community. So, remember last episode we left off at the expo when everybody was setting up, and we had Marcel approach Stormi asking her for $100 for her space, her setup, and remember Tisha told him, listen, it was not a concrete 100. We asked people for donations, and if she choose not to give any, then she won't have to. So Tisha saw Stormi and Marcel getting at it, so she went over there, and Stormi was like, let me tell you what your husband just came over here and did. And then she went over the big spiel, and Marcel was like, nah, girl, I was just trying to help you set up and make sure that you were good. She's like, nah, don't even play them type of games with me, because how the heck you're going to ask me for $100 on the day of the event? That should have been asked at the walkthrough. We should have been told what, was happening at the walkthrough. Remember, she also didn't know how much space she was able to use. So she took over most of one of the corners. And I don't blame her. You're going to take advantage of situations when you can. She said the place was overbooked. Everything was tight. But she made sure that Canvas Beauty was well represented, and the focus was on her brand. So now we have Mel and Marcus in it. No, before we even get in the car, we have Marcel telling Stormi, all right, don't worry about it. Marcel telling Stormi, don't worry about it. We're going to waive the fee for you and all of that. And she was like, nah, don't waive the fee, but I'm going to give it to you, but make sure that you give it to some sort of charity. Give it to somebody who needs the $100. And Marcel was like, we need the $100. We need lots of $100. Well, he was just trying to make fun of it and try to play it off, but you could see that Stormi was upset, and she wasn't about to let him just make a joke out of it and move on. So that was the interaction between Stormi and Marcel. Tisha tried to talk, but it was not happening, and we're going to get back into it later on. But now we have Mel and Marcus in the car. They're heading to the event. As Tisha says. They're heading to the Blaque Expo. And why is it that when we get to before I even forget this point, when we get to the Blaque Expo, it's spelled on the step and repeat and everything BLAQUE. Wasn't that a question of Kimmy in one of the past episodes where she said the fact that it's spelled that way, that's telling us that this is an event that is put on by Blaque, by your company. Why isn't it spelled the other way? So I think Tisha had said to her, listen, we're going to change it. She even showed her on her phone what the flyer looked like and whatever. And yet it's still spelled BLAQUE. Or wasn't that the issue that Kimmy had? The fact that it was just Tisha and Marcel on it? Like the other couples weren't represented, weren't featured. What was the issue with it? Drop down in the comments and let me know if you remember. But what was the issue with Kimmy and the way the name of the expo was being presented? I could be wrong, but I noticed that it was still spelled BLAQUE. All right. Now, like I said, we have Mel and Marcus in her car. Marcus has come into town to hang out with Mel, and they're heading to the expo. Mel is not participating in the expo, she said, because she does not want to. And she also has a performance coming up in Boston the following day. So she's going as a guest. She's going to show her support. And Marcus is asking, won't Martel be there? How are you going to handle it? Mel was like, I know how to ignore him. It won't be a problem for me, but I'm still going to go and support everyone. So now the rest of the episode is mostly featured around the Blaque Expo. So we have the meet and greet. We have everybody coming in one by one. We have Martel come in, and he stops at one of the tables to speak to somebody. And the person is supposed to be able to help his brother get set up in business and get him going. So he wants them to connect, because he's trying to get his brother out of that life and bring him over to the business side. So That's his way of helping. So he made sure he touched base with, I think it's like a financial planner or somebody who helps you get your business, get your LLC, help you get grants and loans and stuff like that. And he stopped to talk to them and let them know that his brother's coming in a little bit and they want to touch base with him. We see Maurice come in and now he's talking to Martel. He said, Martel, where's your setup? Where's your wine? Martel's like, nah, I'm going to let somebody else shine today. And Maurice is in the confessional like, oh my God. We could see that Mel is the marketing guru. We could see that she is the one with the head on her shoulders. Because why it is you have this audience, you have people coming in and you're not showcasing your wine. This is the time to show what you have. We have Stormi showing off her business. I believe we have Kimmy who have something going. I forgot what Kimmy is selling, but Kimmy have Kimmy way in the corner somewhere. I guess she had to take the other corner, and it wasn't as big. I forget what Tisha and Marcel was promoting. Yeah, chocolate in a bottle. They have that, and they have other things going on. But Martel, all these M's, everybody in this freaking, all these men, all named M's. Martel did not bring his wine to showcase. Why did he do that? He could have brought his mom to stand on the table and make sure, that it was being represented while he go off and do other duties. He could have even brought, if he needed to, because it'll give her something to do and help him. And he could have brought anybody to help him. He could have hired somebody to help him, but he chose not to bring, because he's telling Maurice he's letting somebody else shine today. That don't make no sense to me. You got to market. Always be marketed or always be closing. We see Tiffany come in with Louis, and Tiffany is not happy. She let us know that she only heard about this a day or two ago, and she's wondering why she's not part of it based on the job that she does. She does a lot of crowdfunding, I think, and she would have been able to give the audience tips on how to go about getting funding and getting grants and stuff. And Tiffany is not happy. We're going to hear more about that too down the line. We see everybody making their rounds. We see Martel stop at one of the tables, and we have a young lady who tells him that she could help people either get pregnant or stop them from getting pregnant. And Martel is like, man, I wish I had met you years ago. I'm like, no, this dude did not say that. What are you telling us? That you're wishing that you didn't have your kids? Are you kidding us? I wish I had met you years ago. So what are you saying, Martel? You're going to have to expand on that one, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who heard it. And I know social media is going to come for you. So you need to address that one. Just like how you addressed that you weren't married, because everybody was speculating that the ring that they saw on your left hand was a wedding band. So we're going to need for you, and you came on social media and addressed it. So you're going to have to address that statement that you made to that lady. Wow. So, okay, we're moving around now. We're still moving around the venue. I think it was Tisha who asked Maurice if Kimmy was coming, and he's like, yeah, she's on her way. She's a little bit late. We're going to find out why, but she's on her way. She's coming. We have Marcus and Martel now having a conversation. That was a good kiki moment regarding that. So we have Marcel and Martel having a conversation. Marcus, I should say. We have Marcus and Martel having a conversation. So that was a good kiki moment. We have been greeting each other. Marcus is asking, how's everything going? How things going with you and Mel? Martel said, well, with your support, it could be better. It's been 3 years and we're striving to get to a better place. But with your help, it could be better. So Marcus was like, my help, my support. And then he's laughing like, dude. So in a way, I think Martel was asking Marcus, can you just talk to your sister for me and tell her to calm down? But Marcus was like, nah. That's what I'm getting from him. He's like, no, I'm going to let her come at you with both barrels blazing, because you deserve it. For all the things that you put me through, for all the statements that you made and all of that anti-homophobic statement and all that. Oh no, I'm going to just let her do what she's doing to you, because dude, I really don't like you. That's what I got from that whole exchange. And of course, after that, Martel is in the confessional saying he still don't like Marcus because of whatever. And he had a profanity laced statement that up till now I can't decipher what he said. So if you knew what Martel said while he was in the confessional talking about Marcus, can you put it in the description in the comments and share it with the rest of us, because I would really love to know what he actually said. So all right, that was the exchange between Marcus and Martel. Now we have Marcus and Mel talking. They're just, ribbing each other and all of that. So that was a good exchange. And then we have finally Montez, who is Martel's brother. He comes and he's telling him that, listen, spoke to this dude over here. He's going to talk to you and try to get some set up so you could come over to the business side, and we could get you from you being a bad boy and work your way over to being a businessman. We see Kimmy come in, and she let us know that she's coming straight from chemo. She had radiation, and she's very weak, but she would really have liked to go home and lay down, but because she's here, this is a labor of love. So she came straight from the hospital, and she came to make sure that, she show her support to the business expo. We have an attendee who's commending Kimmy as far as her sharing her story with the rest of the world, and the fact that she could have kept it to herself and just gone through with what she was doing, but she made sure that she was sharing it with the world. And Kimmy gets in a confessional, like she said before, if what I'm going through could help one person, then it's all worth it. But she's telling us that she's almost at the end of her treatment, so she's feeling a little bit stronger, but today it took a toll on her. So that was Kimmy talking to her attendee. We have Martel's brother, greeting Melody. Comes over and gives her a hug, and Melody introduced to Marcus, this is my ex-brother-in-law, and this is my brother, meet Marcus. She talks in the confessional that, she's known Martel since she was 22, so of course she knows her brother, and that things that he's gone through in the past, she's trying to encourage him and help him along the way to do better, and she's glad to see that he's actually attending the business expo. So that was good. He tells her that he misses her and that, hope things could work out better between her and Martel for the sake of the kids and the family. And Mel was like, okay, whatever, you know how Mel is. She's not going to get into it. But, in a roundabout, she's like, I don't want to be bothered with this conversation. Please don't say anything else about it to me. So they hugged each other and they were on their way. But you could tell that Marcus was really uncomfortable in that situation. Like, he didn't want to be around them, but he's like, all right, I need to stand here because I'm doing this for my sis. But Marcus did not want to be part of that conversation right there. All right, still moving around the event, moving around the venue. We see Stormi take a call. As we know, Courtney's at the warehouse packing up a huge order in order to take it to New York. And he calls to tell her that they're $125 short of one of the items. And I think they're chalking it up to being mislabeled. So she tells him she's upset because she's here and she should be at the warehouse helping with that. But she said she has confidence that her staff, with Courtney's direction, will get everything straightened out and they will get the order delivered in time. Tiffany comes over, so she's telling Tiffany what is happening. And she also tells Tiffany, Tiffany, why don't you speak it? Tiffany was like, girl, I just heard about this yesterday. I'm surprised I wasn't asked to speak. But we know that Tiffany's going to address it later on. She's not going to address it right there. Stormi gets it, and she tells Tiffany what happened with Marceau about him asking for the $100. The both ladies feel that the event was not organized properly. In the words of Stormi, she said it was half-baked. And Stormi's like, I really don't know what's going on. Tiffany says Marceau came to her and asked her, are you going to be speaking on the panel? Like, what are you talking about, dude? I'm not part of this. So it just seemed like it was a bit unorganized on their end. Like, they didn't have things like solid. So, all right, the two ladies talked for a little while. And now we see that they're going to do the showcase. So The audience is getting ready, and and they're sitting down and they're watching everything that's going on the stage. So they have the screen. You know, you have the screen that you come from behind when you're being introduced. And audience could tell that they were back there arguing because they could see the gestures, they could see the body language. And Tiffany said, these people don't realize that we could see and hear everything that they're saying. Why were they arguing? Fact that Martell is now at the 11th hour and he's decided to back out. Because why is he backing out? He didn't know Mel was going to show up. Mel is sitting right there in the front row. Just Mel is in the front row. She's not participating, so it's throwing him off. He told us he's uncomfortable with public speaking, and this we know from other events that he has done, the 2 wine launching event, or 3. Was it 3? The 2 wine launching event, and he choked up when it was time for him to give a speech. So we know Martell is not good at public speaking, just something he's got to work on if he's going to be staying on the show. But he lets them know that he doesn't want to. And of course, when they call him last to come to the stage, he hesitates. But he comes out and he tells us in the confessional that he didn't want to disappoint the team. So he made sure that he came to the stage. So on the panel now, we have the audience asking the panel certain questions. They each give an answer. And then they had a Q&A. One thing I must say, this is good. They finally actually came together as a group and did something as a group. We've been waiting since season 1. We are in season 6 for them to actually do something solid as a group. And this actually worked for them. So it was good to see that them come together for their first Blaque Expo. And going forward, I think they're going to do it going forward. So yeah, the Blaque Expo was a success. Like I said, they did some Q&A and then they wrapped up, and that was it for the Blaque Expo. Now we have Stormi and Courtney at home. I think they're getting ready for bed. We find out that Courtney has driven to New York to go deliver the shipment that was needed, and he is back. So he is resting. He's letting it know it took a toll on him. It's a 15-hour drive according to him, and he was driving a box truck. So he had to take the product to New York and then come back. So he's resting. He's asking his wife, Stormi, how was the Blaque Expo? She tells him, it was okay, except for what Marcel did regarding the $100. Babe, I don't think that was right. Or you're going to go talk to him. In other words, go beat him up for me, babe. That's what I got from that. Then he was like, I'm surely going to talk to him about it because that's not cool. Because, how unprofessional are you? And I think Stormi's like, I'm never doing business with these people again because of the way they were behaving. Now he's talking to her. He said, I need to talk to you about the real reason why I didn't want to extend the family. And then he tells her about the experience when they were having their son. He's saying that what he saw in that room was really traumatizing. I believe he said they had her open on the table and the doctor was scooping out so much blood. And at one point he fainted. He passed out because he couldn't take seeing her like that because he thought he was going to lose her. And because of that experience, he doesn't want her to go through that again. He said he's against having a surrogate. He don't want nobody else carrying his child. But in order for her not to have that experience again, he's going to be okay with her having a surrogate. So Stormi was happy. She was happy. She's like, I didn't know you were that scared. Of course, she's laying there under anesthesia. She's not going to know what's going on. And I'm sure that it was traumatizing for him to see that experience. It's already traumatizing for a man to actually see a woman giving birth, pushing. So imagine with her open like that, wide, with her intestines laid to the side and all that to make sure that baby came into the world. Okay, that's a traumatizing experience, I'm sure. So she's happy that he's okay with her using a surrogate. So I'm guessing we're going to see Stormi having another baby pretty soon. So that was the exchange the talk between Stormi and her husband, Courtney. Now we have Tiffany and the ladies. Tiffany has invited the ladies to lunch. She says she wants to address the fact that she was excluded, and she wants to give some constructive criticism to Tisha regarding what happened at the Blaque Expo. So it's Tiffany, Tisha, Kimmy, and Stormi at lunch. So, they started off with congratulations, your event was a success. And Tiffany was like, I didn't like the fact that, I was excluded. She's like, I don't have to be a part of the comeback group, but at least let me participate if I'm part of the group itself. She's like, I don't have to be, part of the core, but I have a lot of experience and a lot of feedback to give. And you didn't even ask me to be a part of it. So Kimmy was like, yes, she did. You were part of the conversation from the beginning. She said, well, since I was, so why wasn't I up there on the panel answering questions? Kimmy was like, I think it was an oversight. It wasn't no oversight. Tisha didn't want her up there because, remember, with Lou and Marceau going at it, when Lou kind of criticized Marceau and Tisha's union and stuff, I don't think Marceau cares for Lou very much. And, Tiffany's an extension of him, so therefore, she's not going to be included in anything having to do with us. That is what I'm taking from it. They didn't include Lou and Tiffany because it was personal, and that's not fair because she does have experience. She could have helped them. She could have answered a lot of questions, especially the one where Marceau was struggling over the capital venture question. Tiffany could have picked that up and ran with it because that's what she does on a daily basis, so it comes easy to her. So, okay, Stormi now decides to take the reins from Tiffany and run with it. She's like, girl, I didn't like the fact that your husband came to me and asking me for $100. Tisha was like, I agree with you. I did speak to him about the way he was behaving and the way he was acting, but at the same time, I didn't like the way that you answered, that you responded. Of course, now Stormi is taken aback, like, really? What? She's like, I didn't like the way you chose to respond. She's like, I can't tell you how to respond because I wasn't there when he approached you. But at the same time, you're at a business event and you're supposed to conduct yourself better. Stormi, the ghetto came out of Stormi. You see her lips twist up to the side. Her neck start to roll. Her body tense up because now she's ready to fight. And at one point, Tisha was like, what is wrong with you? Tisha was like, if I was a different person, I'll be jumping across the table to you. So Stormi was like, all right, then do it. Do it. And she kept taunting Tisha about it. But what Marceau did was wrong. And I don't think Tisha should have tried to check Stormi regarding that. It's like, you could have chosen a different way to say it. Yes, my husband was wrong. But how you going to tell me how to react? He was wrong for coming at me the way he did. So they went at that for a little while. Kimmy in the middle, always trying to deflect or diffuse the situation. And with the way that Stormi was reacting, Kimmy was like, Stormi, stop patronizing her. You're egging her on. Stop doing it. Tisha was like, if I can't talk to my friend and for them to receive it, Stormi was like, girl, we ain't there yet. Meaning, you're not my friend. We're not that point. Don't even try it. We ain't friends yet. And with that, Tisha decides that she's not about it. And she gets up and she leaves and said, don't invite me to nothing like this no more. So poor Tiffany's lunch with the ladies went left. She tried. Stormi took the reins and ran with it. Stormi looked like she always up for a battle. Like, don't come at me. But honestly, Marceau was so wrong for approaching her at the expo, asking her for her $100 donation. That could have waited till afterwards. That could have happened at the table. The way they did it at the event wasn't right. So yeah, that was it. Tisha gets up and leaves, and that was the end of this episode. So with that, now we get to see the mid-season trailer right behind it. We get to see Kiki's picture being flashed across the news. Something about, being sought after for stealing. We see Courtney get to check Marceau about him stepping to his wife, asking for $100, and then talking to the way that he did to her. We see Melody, and I believe they had another meeting now where Marceau is talking about, we have people over here, we're doing business, not people peddling their t-shirt brand. And we have Mel responding like, I see them promoting t-shirts with the name Blaque across it, Blaque across it. We have Maurice and Kimmy go for a bike ride, and I believe Maurice wants them to go to a therapist, a sex therapist. And Kimmy was like, you don't understand, the medication that I'm on is not giving me the drive. So I think what Maurice is leading up to, he's giving us, because they see the way we come at Martell for what he did to Melody. I think he's leading up to cheating. And he's going to put it back on Kimmy for her not being able to go through and perform the act. And my comment to that is, boy, you better back your fist, because she's ill, she's recovering, and as a loving husband, you're supposed to give her the grace, the time, the energy, and everything that she needs to go through this, for better or for worse. That were the vows that you took. So I think Maurice is trying to lead up to him stepping out on Kimmy, and I hope that's not the case. We have Mel and Marcel meeting. I don't know exactly what for. And he's telling Mel, don't cry, don't cry. We already know that Marcel is a clown. And Mel was like, boy, ain't nobody crying over you. And neither will Tisha when she leave your ass. I'm like, oh, mic drop. Mel is not putting up their shenanigans. She is matching energy. Whatever energy you come with, I'm giving it to you. So that was an exchange between them. And then the blow up, remember, this is all in this mid-season trailer. The blow up, I believe they're at a picnic or some party, and we see Tisha and Kiki going at it. We see Kiki like knock over a drink and it splash on Tisha, and it gets into, I think, a physical fight. The only thing I was focused on in that whole scene with the fight back and forth is that green dress that Kimmy had on. I'm like, what a beautiful shade of green. Girl, where you get that dress? That's all I was focused on, because we all know that it was going to get explosive at some point. So apparently, you know, even though Kiki promised Tisha that she would be on her P's and Q's and doing better, it seems like she has gone off the wagon again. Tisha is not here for it. She already told her that, you know, I'm giving you one more chance, and if that, you got to be out of my life. So we see some explosions coming down the line. That was the mid-season trailer, and we are in episode 15. I told you guys that this franchise have a lot of episodes. So we're in episode 15. So I'm guessing we're going into the 20s. We usually end at around 18, but I think we're hitting in the 20s with this season. So yeah, that was a lot going on in this. There was Martell went on live yesterday, or I should say Saturday, and he went on live to address some questions, and I'm gonna talk about it in a different video. Maybe I'll put it up, maybe not. But one of the questions that he did address, or speculation, is that he's married again, because there is a wedding band on his ring finger. So he addressed it, and let's see, we'll talk about it. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my uploads. But we're going to wrap it up with this. This has gone on long enough. Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 15, titled Give Black to the Community. Like I said, thank you for watching my video. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up this video. Share it if you wish. And until next time, be sure to take care of yourselves and your families. Bye-bye.